What's up, gang? Super early in the morning here, but I just had to tell you about two new plugins / tools that are dropping from Waves today. What's up, guys? My name's Will. I make an assortment of music under the moniker Hush Child. Now, this video is falling outside of my normal schedule, and that's because there's two plugins / tools coming from Waves today that fall at a very low price point. One being just $10 and one being absolutely free. I wanted my subscribers and yourself, if you're just stumbling across this video, to stay one step ahead. Let's not waste any time. Let's jump into the exciting stuff. Should we do the small camera thing? Okay, awesome stuff. So what you're seeing in front of you is something called Cosmos, and it's a free sample organizer. And before you click away, it's the first of its kind to use neural network technologies. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means it's able to analyze your entire sample library. It's able to tag those samples and understand whether it's a guitar, whether it's a vocal, whether it's drums. Is it in a darker sound, a brighter sound? Is it electronic, acoustic? Does it have reverb? Is it compressed? Is it saturated? The list goes on. And it can do all of these things without you even having named your files. If all your files were completely untitled, it would analyze these sounds and then tag them for you. I should mention as well, just without bringing in your own sample libraries, Waves are giving you 2,500 samples too, which is kind of helpful. I've brought in two folders, my Splice Sounds folder and my Samples folder from my hard drive. So this is my entire collection in Cosmos view, but there's two other views. We have the list, and then we have this kind of succinct list with bigger icons on the list. Each color is a different instrument, and if it's got kind of a singular playhead or a singular arrow going to the right, then it's a one shot. If it's got a repeating sign, then of course it's a loop. We can see the tags under these samples here: mandolin, beats, it's lo-fi, maybe rhythm, acoustic, loop, plucked, wet, clean. So it's giving you those tags. So if you ever search those, this one is probably going to come up. It's also telling me that it's 3 seconds long and it's in G major. It's a one shot, so it doesn't have a BPM. But as we go down to something that is a loop, we can see that this is 4 bars, G sharp minor, and 126 BPM. What's really cool about the Cosmos view is that we can look at our entire sample library by instrument perhaps. So here's all of the different instruments. Let's zoom in a little bit and we can preview those instruments. Let's see what we've got in the orange section. Okay, so we can safely assume that these are all different types of claps. Okay, so that must mean that snares are this orangey color. Cool, we've got some different chords and stuff. Vocals in the middle. Sounds like pads or basses perhaps. These are basses. Okay, we found the basses. So that's a really cool way of looking at things. I like this view. It's very safe. I also like to drag it to the side so that we can use it like the Splice sample library as well. Just drag things straight into Ableton. As I said, tagging is where it's at. So if I wanted lo-fi, and let's go for drums. So this is my entire kind of lo-fi drums collection. But what if I wanted just like a little break that was distorted? Let's get rid of lo-fi and let's go with distort. Here we go. So as I said, that's completely free and works as a standalone player or inside our second plugin that we're going to look at. This is CR8 or CR8. It's a multi-layered sampler. If we hit that little magnifying glass, then our Cosmos player opens up. We can find our different views here. We can search our different things and we can drop our samples straight into CR8 or CR8. This is a really nice little sampler. Now, on first glance, it doesn't seem that different to the simpler or the sampler. And I'm with you guys. I absolutely adore the Ableton simpler sampler. But this actually does some really cool stuff just inside this sampler device. Let's get a pad of some sort. I don't know why I want a pad. It was just the first thing that came to me. I really like that one. That one's really cool. Okay, so here's our pad. Now, CR8 works with Cosmos. So when you drop a sample in here from the Cosmos sample finder, it's also going to automatically tag here, and it's also going to know how to play it. Is it a melodic sample? Is it a vocal sample? Is it rhythmic? I'm just going to set this to classic for now. So it's just a one-shot sampler at the minute. Nothing you haven't seen already. We can loop this region. I'm gonna have it fade in and fade out like that. We've got our BPM and our root note down here, how much gain is added. All the stuff that you're probably used to with the Ableton simpler and sampler. If it's a mono sample, then we can change the pan in. Let's keep that in stereo for now. We've got our ADSR down to the right hand side here, and this lovely filter section, just turn it on. Can add a little bit of resonance and some drive. So they're really nice additives, but we can of course layer this synth as well. Let's take maybe like a vocal. I'm gonna take the long one. So now we can play those things together. And you can add up to 8 layers in this multi-layered sampler. So just think about all the different textures that you'll be able to add to your own samples. We can also arrange our samples. Maybe we only want the vocals pad to play when we're hitting the keys a little bit harder. Or perhaps you only want the vocal pad to play in certain octaves. You can do that as well. This is great for separating up perhaps the different sections of your drums. And then of course we have our mixer here. As you apply new layers, we can also tune these different instruments. So you can have something that sounds more like chords. Perhaps our vocal pad is playing a fifth above our previous instrument and is a little bit wider. We've already turned the volume down. I think there's 2 really huge things that are just the icing on the cake for this instrument. We've got a vocal here. Let's take the loop off and we'll take the attack right down as well. It knows it's a voice here, and when you choose the voice function, you also get this flat option, which is a great way to just keep the melody on one note. How cool is that? It's never going to be perfect because it's pitching these in real time, but it keeps everything on the same note. So you can get some really unique rhythms out of this. Or if you are creating, a chord pad, you could have the bass level as the flattened vocal, and you could have the next sample across in maybe layer 3 as the unflattened vocal, and you could create some different loops and textures. Let me show you something else that I think is really cool inside our original sample pad that we had here as well. This is the most exciting thing for me. As you know, with Ableton's simpler sampler, it can be a little bit fiddly to assign any kind of modulation. Here's something that I love to do with the CR8. If I want to apply some modulation, then I just open this tab here. We have 4 parameters for modulation. I'm going to drag this M1 to the cutoff and we get M1 under here. So this is my original sample. I'm going to start to pull that down until I like the sound of the cutoff. And I can adjust how much that LFO works by pushing up that little M1 title under cutoff. Okay, so that's cool on its own. Maybe I want a little bit of pitch wobble. So what I'm going to do is go to M2 and I'm going to choose sequencer. And I'm just going to assign this to the tune. I'm going to push this up ever so slightly, maybe to like 12. Around here, I'm going to pull the tune down. It says -2 there. I'm going to pull it down a little bit. And then maybe up a little bit here, +2. Let's see what that sounds like. So can you hear that kind of pitch bend that it's got there? It's a wonderful way to make your sample just sound a little bit more unique. Create alongside Cosmos is a lot of fun, and I'm really glad that I got to play with these this morning. If you want to have a little bit of an experimentation yourself, then make sure you go down into the description where I have a little affiliate link for you guys. Thank you as always for stopping by. If this was helpful, make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you on Thursday at our normal time.